There are some truly powerful Force users out there. Palpatine, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Jar Jar, the obvious ones. But what about Cal Kestis, Padawan survivor? He may not be as powerful as the rest, but he's got one thing in his corner: sheer stubbornness. The galaxy's gonna keep killing him over and over again, but I'm not gonna get the message. In fact, going on a galaxy-spanning adventure and getting into tons of scraps, most would probably pick up on a skill or two. But I'm not most, I'm built different. And by that, I mean way, way worse. Like seriously, something's wrong, guys. In this Jedi Fallen Order challenge, I'm not going to learn a single skill, nor will I engage in healing. That would be smart, and I think I've well established by now that word and I don't go together. And this time, I have a fellow challenger, Red Panda Bear 39, to go along in this less than well thought out journey with. Yep, the rat and the red panda, two unlikely allies, neither with a full brain cell to be shared between us, but with an endless supply of stubbornness. Go enjoy his run after mine, or mine after his, or watch both of ours at the exact same time if you prefer. We're seeing who can beat this challenge with less deaths throughout. With a spoiler warning and Jedi Grandmaster difficulty selected, let's get ready to become one with the Force over and over again. We begin our journey of being a Jedi in hiding by doing a bunch of cool tricks that anyone would see and be like, yep, that guy's a Force user. Maybe Cal should have chosen a job that didn't show off his superior agility so much. Honestly, using the Force to save his friend was probably not the first clue to this probe droid that Cal's a Jedi, but it certainly cinched it. With the Empire hero, my buddy Prof decides to make a speech to them about the evils of the Empire, and unexpectedly, they kill him. Who knew that bad-mouthing the guys who are professional Jedi hunters would lead them to murder indiscriminately? What a surprise! Now on the run, it's not hard to take on the stormtroopers guarding this train, but I do find it odd when they just keep falling from the roof to attack me. Where do you guys keep coming from, and why don't you come all at the same time? See? When there's multiple of you at once, my brain overloads and I inevitably die. I was really hoping all my experience beating this game before would make the first part deathless, but at least it goes to prove my initial point that I never learn. Coming across the second sister, I'm ready to take her down with ease. I've beaten her at her hardest without taking damage, so this should be nothing. And I'm right, it is nothing. For her to destroy me. Thankfully, the game is counting on my incompetence and I'm saved from certain death. The galaxy's a big place and I want to see it all. Unfortunately, to do that, I have to wipe out every other living thing everywhere I go. But that's a small price to pay for sightseeing, I'd say. I also take the time to copy my lightsaber after the Umbaran style, in honor of my favorite Clone Wars hero. For those of you who don't know, this guy's the best, and you should definitely tell any Clone Wars fan you meet the exact same thing. When Cal decides to slice some wires and gets electrocuted, I'm forced to heal, as I have no choice in order to progress. It's nice to see even when I don't have control, Cal acts like an idiot. That's the only scripted healing spot, but I accidentally heal myself right after killing a giant Froggo. Not wanting to risk having more health from the checkpoint by restarting, I instead fix my mistake by chucking myself into the void. Over and over. Sure, I wasn't this badly injured before, but hopefully watching his new friend jump to his doom repeatedly will teach BD1 not to heal him. When I'm jumped by a gang of insect lobster-like creatures, I very nobly retreat. Much to my surprise, I find they aren't the most hostile group ever, merely staring at me and only attacking if I step foot into their territory. I'm starting to get the idea that Cal here really is the bad guy, killing every poor creature whose home he's invaded. I'm disappointed to see that traveling to a new planet heals me, but worry not, it proves zero help when I die shortly after anyways. I try to question Grease why he's not helping me out, but no matter how menacingly I circle him, he just doesn't seem to notice. Going into a fight with a group of troopers at practically zero health, I worry for my life, but that worry gives me the will to not fight aggressively and actually survive. Don't get ahead of yourself though and think I've grown any smarter, because of course I managed to die a second later by falling to my death. Nice to see some things never change. Nature beats me to a pulp for a while before I finally manage to grab whatever it is I'm here for. Not really sure, but it means I get to fight, so any excuse, right? There's one thing I know for sure I need though, and I will risk everything for it. And that's more ponchos. I'm not traveling the galaxy without looking the best I can after all. Obi-Wan taught me that. I wish he also taught me how to navigate, cause despite beating this game before, I became horribly lost and stuck on Zeffo for quite a while. When I said I wouldn't learn any skills, I really didn't mean to include my ability to read a map. After dying a ton to the Jotaz beast, is it Jotaz or Yotaz? I don't know, but I'm gonna continue on as though I said it right. I finally managed to find my way off the planet. Seriously, these guys are tougher than any other for me to fight. If only I could tame one, I'd give it a lightsaber and have Vader beaten within a week. Fleeing to Kashyyyyyyyyyk, I'm supposed to take over this walker and wage war with it, but I'd rather do it by myself. This stubbornness is immediately rewarded with getting stepped on. So yep, onto the walker after all. I really prove how blind the troopers are by opening and closing this hatch over and over, yet they notice nothing. It truly pains me whenever these guys land a hit with how unaware they are. Exploring, I avoid this patch of webbing because I'm not dumb enough to stumble accidentally into it. No, I am dumb enough though to purposely trigger it and not react fast enough to the spider I knew would ambush me. That's a new level of dumb, I'd say. At least the spiders are plenty useful at defeating the stormtroopers as well. I must really love getting torn apart by them, as I willingly face off against the optional spider boss. It's not that hard, but it doesn't change that I become spider chow a few times anyways. At least I have this security droid to fight to make me feel better. The one boss that I can still beat on my first go, no problem. It's not much of an achievement, but I'll take what I can get. Only to ruin a moment later by dying through falling. This seems to be such a common occurrence that I'd like to start a petition as of now. To remove gravity. All in favor, please. Chant. Down with gravity. Down with gravity. Oh, wait. No, that's just what gravity would want us to do. Scratch that. Up with gravity. Up with gravity. With its removal, my survival odds should go up at least 50%. I must really enjoy dying because the moment I go back to Zeffo, I go against another optional beast. This one, the Jotaz Alpha. Being these things give me more trouble than any other, I of course die a lot, but strangely, not to the Alpha, but to a normal one. The Alpha, I'm so scared of actually that I maintain such a respectful distance from it at nearly all times that I'm able to beat it on my 4th attempt. To die a moment later by an exploding fungus. Proof that even if gravity is removed from the equation, I'll still find a way. I'll always find a way to lose somehow. That's a shenanigan guarantee. Battling through groups of Imperials, I begin to sweat, and not because of an overactive sweat gland. Well, maybe that too, but because I have a sliver of health left, and I know the second sister is waiting for me in the next room. While trying to check for her below, naturally, I end up slipping and falling, making it so I have a sliver of health left, just to really rub in my odds. But as usual, the lower my odds, the better I do. Hence why I always fall off of things I really shouldn't. The odds are too much in my favor for those. Of course, shortly before I can get her to half health, which would end the fight, I get too eager and down I go. The shenanigan guarantee in action. 2 tries later though, and I escape her grasp. Fighting through hordes of Imperials and Tomb Guardians isn't too difficult till after I learn how to do Force Pull. Then I forget every ounce of sense left in me and begin a long process of killing a bunch and then dying before I finally reach the next checkpoint. Arduously, I take 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, till I finally manage that 3rd step and then die to an unexpected scout commander, of all people. No, it's not the Guardian, the hordes of troopers, the Purge Trooper, or the Jotaz monster that gets me, but the lonely, weak scout commander. That's a real salt on the wound moment. Thankfully, by this point, I had the hang of the fights and made it back shortly after. You probably can't tell, but trust me when I tell you there's a great deal of dark side rage when I fight that scout commander. He's made it very, very personal. After getting ambushed by a bounty hunter, I'm forced into arena battle against, funny enough, all the beasts that are found specifically on the planets I visit in-game. How oddly specific that this galaxy-spanning cartel didn't happen to have any creature from a planet that I don't visit. They even have beasts from Bogano, a planet that supposedly only my small group knows of. What a crazy coincidence. It doesn't take too long to find myself victorious and on my way back to Kashyyyyyyyyyk. The fighting goes pretty well for once, and I quickly find myself facing off against the 9th sister. As the 9th child in her family, she's got a lot to prove it seems, as she makes my life rather difficult for nearly an hour. Of course, several tries before I finally do win, I very nearly win. There always has to be one attempt that very nearly does it, but only exists to crush my spirit when I lose anyways. I find her to be a very fun fight, and I feel bad when I chop off her hand. This being Star Wars, there must always be one obligatory hand chopped off. Now safe on the ship, I love watching Grease pour an endless amount of seasoning while listening to the other two argue. It's a very accurate portrayal of my liberal use of salt with much of what I eat. Time for Dathomir. This is host to my least favorite foe. You thought it was the Jotaz beast, but no, I may die a lot to them, but I enjoy their challenge. No, it's the darn little spiders. They love to shoot acid at me, which I always manage to step in, and it can take way too long for them to try for a counterable melee strike. I've never been arachnophobic, as I believe spiders should be allowed to marry whoever they please, but can we please take their acid abilities away? At least the large Nihilak beast is nearly always easy to beat with a triple counter kill. The developers were smart, making a beast that makes me feel like I'm way better at the game than I am. I have a bit of trouble with the Night Brothers until I leave their fighting range, and then suddenly I'm nothing to them. This is terrible for my self-esteem, guys. Fight me! I bet you want to turn your backs on Obi-Wan. It's just insulting. Still gonna use it to my advantage, but how dare you guys? At least this one Night Brother's better, being a true Night Bro. We just hung out together by this fire. Ain't that nice to see? But speaking of fire, it disappointingly doesn't burn. I was really hoping for a free Anakin Skywalker skin, but I have to make do massacring whole native villages to be like him. I can't find any children, and the women are zombies, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. When I come to the cave of the giant bat Gorgara, I make sure to check every wall first. Nowhere in sight? Perfect. But of course, 10 seconds later, and there she is lurking on the wall I just checked. What stealth! In my past fights with her, it never took me too long to beat her, but for whatever reason, though likely the reason being I'm an idiot, she took way more tries this time around. Even had the obligatory almost beat her moment before dying, not once, but multiple times. Like way too many times she was on the verge of losing when I die. If I was a wiser soul, I'd say it's because I know she's an easy fight, and therefore don't give her the due caution that she deserves as a boss, leading to my deaths. But I'm not a wiser soul, so I don't say that, and instead just keep slashing away till I die again. When she finally does flee from her wounds, I follow shortly after, only for the bat to return and try and eat me yet again. Isn't there easier prey? She has quite the grudge. Falling high above the ground, I already know no damage can be taken here, so I decide not to rely on the bat for my safety. No, I shall learn to fly instead. If I flap my arms hard enough, I'm sure I'll get it sooner or later. Just gotta get enough momentum. Somehow, that sadly doesn't work, and I'm forced to ride Gorgara to her death. Well then, I've killed the top predator of the land. I hope that doesn't completely destroy the delicate ecosystem here, but I don't live here, so I guess it's not my problem. What a hero. I guess some of the Knight brothers actually think I'm a hero, as a few of them no longer seem to register my presence. Probably not my best move using their passiveness to me in order to see if force pushing a large box against one will kill him. Yes. My conclusion is boxes are dangerous, and I may be morally in the wrong here. Better to beat feet and get going before the consequences of my actions catch up. While in a vision of the past, I realize I have a chance to be the hero I always wished to be in the Clone Wars. Follow my logic here, will ya? If I get past this obstacle course and go into the room where my master waits, Order 66 will be called, and the horrific Jedi extermination will begin. But, hear me out, if I never complete the course and never enter the room, then no Order 66, right? I'd say my logic is flawless. Thing is, this room is rather boring, and young Cal looks terrifying to behold from this angle. So, now the question's really, what's worse? Me being bored, or the mass extermination of Jedi, Jedi supporters, the fall of the Republic, the death of Padme, the fall of Anakin, the betrayal by many good clones, and just a whole lot of suffering? Well, you know, maybe just this once it won't go that way. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be fine. No. Damn. Right after that trauma, I find myself facing off against a vision of my old master. Oh, heck no. Not happening. I just watched him tear clones apart with ease in that flashback. I stand no chance. Turns out he's not hostile, though, so I choose the same. We chill together for a while, but I got places to be, so I pull an Order 66 of my own and attack him. This leads to a broken lightsaber, meaning a quick trip to Ilum to get a new lightsaber crystal for my blade, take down a few troopers, and make it back to Dathomir so I can fight the optional beast boss. Sadly, this Nihilakh is not instantly killable as far as I can tell, and it goes much worse for me. It hurts my soul when I finally do kill it, and it kills me right back with its final blow. It doesn't even have the decency to respond so I can beat it the right way. At least I can now face my master again so the game can tell me non-violence was the way. So non-violence works now for you, huh? Not when I was here earlier, eh? Only violence then. I'll need that violence to face off against Malicos, the crazy ex-Jedi who lurks here. Why are you shirtless, dude? I know you lost your mind, but come on, your shirt as well? It's a bit much. On my last run here, I lost a ton to him, so you'd really think I'd be more ready for this. But I guess over the 9 months since then, I've forgotten everything. It is enough that I vote to change the name of this tomb from the Tomb of Kujet to the Tomb of Cal Kestis. That Kujet person probably only died once. I've died almost 100 times here over the course of 4.5 hours. I think I deserve it more. It's not always Malicos who kills me even. Sometimes the Knight Brothers' Guardian manage it, and especially hurt the one time an archer managed to kill me. I wish I could say I won with skill, but like most times, I won because I just don't quit. Only with the help of Night Sister Marin do I finally manage to inflict enough damage to end him. I don't know who she is much, but after helping me kill Malicos, I was ready to propose right then and there. My love for her shall sing across the stars. I guess that old saying's true. The best way to win someone's heart is with the heart of their enemies. Before I could propose, though, I had a loose end to tie up. Second Sister was ready to fight, and while it didn't take long to beat her on Bogano, that was merely a warm-up. But before I could finish her off, I had to take the time to roll this ball into this hole. Why would I spend a good 5 minutes doing this? To get an extra healing stim, of course. Sure, I can't use it, but the more I have, the more of a power move it is to die with. Breaking into Fortress Inquisitorius, I face plenty of strong resistance. Thankfully, I have a loophole. Beat a couple of security droids up and they'll take down the enemy purge troopers for you. How handy. I do have to reset a moment later though when a disembodied voice keeps threatening me, yet no one's in the room. Oh no! That means the purge trooper I killed has become a force ghost just to taunt me. Oh wait, no. It was actually this guy in the next room somehow got aggro to fight me. Or maybe it was a ghost. Finally going up against the second sister for the 4th time, I'm ready for a showdown. I wish I could say it went super well, and I can. After tons of attempts anyways. She was much easier than Malicos at least, taking 3 hours less to beat. Of course, the crazy shirtless old dude is much more dangerous than everyone else. Makes sense. I can only hope that'll be me in a year or two. The second sister has tons of moves, but they're all pretty well telegraphed, and I finally pull through. Don't worry, I did have my obligatory almost win, but die instead moment. With the second sister down, we get a visit from Vader, and I manage to die 2 more times fleeing in fear from him. His presence makes fall damage go from ow, that hurts, to just plain dead. Unleashing the power of BD1 on him, a cutscene plays and I can say huzzah! Over the course of 30 hours and 28 minutes, I died a total of 471 times. But I did succeed at beating Jedi Fallen Order without healing or spending any skill points. Stubbornness for the win. Red Panda Bear 39 ended up showing even greater levels of perseverance with 908 deaths. And I have to just say, everyone should definitely salute that level of insane stubbornness. That's us challenge gamers. Not much sanity, but we'll always win in the end. It was excellent facing off with someone else for once in a challenge. Now go enjoy Red Panda Bear 39's video, if you haven't already. And if you have, well, maybe go do the challenge yourself. Could be quite fun. I certainly enjoyed playing it, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Now go have an amazing day, friends, and keep up the good fight against gravity. See you later.